being picked up again.
Yeah. Bans following up: Dark Lady, Magnus, Soul Stealer, and Bubbles. So far is what we see here. But yeah, I mean, Kraken really is. He's obviously got a lot of just good history in the competitive pawn scene. He's always just been a decent option, and you know, there even to go as far as to say, I know Stay Green was a big advocate of the hero, that it was even the strongest hero in the game, just because of the skill set and everything. And yeah, nothing has really changed with the hero for the longest time. So it's not like obviously the only thing that's kind of changed is, well, maybe the meta, the strategies and whatnot. His suicide potential, as you're pointing out, maybe not necessarily as strong as it perhaps used to be for whatever reason, but still is a very, very, very valuable pickup. So Sync is aware of that apparently, and they will get that.
That they are, and they have Warbeast on the Legion side, as we said before as well. That's like one of Sib's signature hero. He does so damn well with this one, so I'm not sure if you want to give him a 1v1 situation. In that case, you need to pick something that does very well versus the Wolves. Like you see that Cernia banned out the Soul Stealer, for example, and he's like one of those, like you can just demon hand the Wolves more or less and just push the lane constantly and just being more or less have complete free farm even though you're versus that Warbeast. Cthulhu as well. Iceland Gogo is going to be playing that most likely, and Puppet Master onto Probosk, I would assume.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm actually finding interesting here with those bans too is that Serenia banned Balfagor first game as well, and he bans it here again with their final ban. So I don't know if Sync's been running a little bit of Balfagor lately, or if that's just kind of a cheese factor thing. They just don't want to give that up. So, but with the Ophelia perhaps, but it's interesting seeing that nonetheless.
I think it goes back to the Warbeast, seeing as Balfagor, by the way, got a little bit buffs in the last patch.
He did, yeah.
So he is a little bit stronger than before, at least.
I think he's a lot stronger, honestly. I think he's almost underestimated with those changes, because I was actually looking at I haven't tried it myself, so I can't say for certain, honestly, but it feels like on paper that those changes actually were pretty big for the hero. That's already pretty solid, I think. So, just saying.
Yeah. Very likely. I haven't seen it in action yet either, so it's hard to say before you actually see it in a competitive game. But yeah, it could be something to look into, definitely. And if they were to go with the Balfagor plus the Ophelia combo versus the Warbeast, for example, I don't think that the Legion team would have enough counter push to deal with that. So probably the reason for why they choose to ban him. Morax's fourth pick, 54.3% win. I would assume that it's even higher after the previous buffs that he got in the last major patch.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. That would not be surprising at all. So, but that also means it's going to be a Kraken suicide again, and that's going to be in the hands of KZU. So, again, last game happened to do very well, but they finish off with a silhouette carry. But yeah, you see the Cersei pick up at the same time coming out from Druids, and I know they have been known to run it a couple times too. Serenia has played it before, plays it very well, so perhaps a comfort hero for them in that support role. But they snap picked that silhouette, so Sync was very confident with that one there.
This is interesting as well. Mickey readied it up on Kraken. Kiesu is playing the Moraxus, so this might be that offensive tri-lane.
Okay.
But having Silhouette versus the Warbeast though, Silhouette is not very good at dealing with the Warbeast Wolves. Like, you can't necessarily last it in the tower range, and he's quite squishy, so the Wolves are going to deal a lot of damage. On top of that, Battlecry, Cersei and Puppet Master are both ranged heroes, so I feel like they're going to be able to deal with the Moraxus and the Morag quite well. It's all going to depend on what kind of creeps Slap is going to be able to find in his jungle, or how well Druids actually block the camps. This is risky from Sync if they actually decide to man up. This can backfire big time. They don't have a solid initiation stun like a Magnus, Lava Surge, for example. Meraxus needs to get close in. Same goes with Mora. You can't necessarily just walk in there and expect your Shards of Harkon to hit.
Yeah.
This is, yeah.
Alright. Well, so Sync here almost questioning the draft a little bit.
They can't. I just figured, I mean, they got a Cthulhu as well. It's in the Legion side. I mean, he's going to eat Ophelia alive.
Yeah.
If they were to man up.
That's true, yeah.
Nothing else makes sense for Kiss. So is he going to run a Suicide Moraxus in that case? Does that work?
Maybe that's... why would they do that, though, if that's, like... I guess you got a Puppet Master short lane is what you're expecting here, so maybe Moraxus just fares better than Kraken, and for some reason, I don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to run a Kraken versus a Puppet Master Cersei, that's for sure. I don't think that Arcane Shield blocks the entrapment from Cersei.
That's a good point, actually. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it does, but yeah, that's definitely one of those I don't know on.
gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, you can still use the Arcane Shield, even if like Cersei entraps you and it doesn't block it. You can still see Puppet Master coming in, and as long as you activate the Arcane Shield, then it's not going to be, you're not going to go down to the Puppet Master at least.
Well, it is looking like Moraxis is going to end up in the long lane very possibly. He's a little late here to get to the top to maybe help to fight, but obviously you got the Legion side all heading up here and looking to get those camps blocked. If anything, force Ophelia to the other jungle, and that'll be in the hands of Cthulhu Font to then deal with. So makes a lot of sense here as to what Druids is going for. And Iceland Gogo, I mean, obviously he's actually had some pretty good history on this hero too, and has played it very, very well for formerly fresh, now known as Druids here. So comfort hero for him definitely coming out. They will block the camp over here to the lane, as well as the pull camp on top of that. So definitely doing their part to keep Ophelia somewhat locked down here.
I think Druids are very well prepared for this game. Their draft looks like it has a purpose. The lanes seems to be setting up real nice, and Probus actually stated before that Sync has been picking up a lot of Moon Queen, and it's been working out for them, but he felt like it might have been some kind of like a strategy trick, more or less, that they wanted to, or they tried it out with a Moon Queen in scrims, but Moon Queen has been one of those heroes that hasn't necessarily been a top tier pick on the competitive scene lately, so he figured like maybe they're just running this in scrims, but intentionally they're trying to like, or they want to run it with a different hero, like the Silhouette.
Yeah.
So he specifically stated that they were looking perhaps to go for that kind of lineup that's centered around the carry, but go with the Silhouette instead of the Moon Queen. So I think they, coming into this game very well prepared. And Moraxis is already pulling the lane, by the way.
That's kind of interesting right there. Yeah, he's able to get the full pull right here. And I was also watching Warbeast. He's going to pull it all the way over to the Ancient area. He's got Cersei still chasing even. We'll see how long he decides to go for this chase right here. But you figure he can only go so much further before it's just going to have to turn around more than likely. Yeah, he's going to turn around right there. Warbeast, by the way, he was actually able to get a successful pull-off on everything but the Warlock, so almost got a full pull. But Moira did a pretty good job, though, of boxing it out. He ended up killing one of the Hellhounds, at least. But the second one was able to stay alive. But Zibby, once again, going up there, sending the Hellhounds, and going to do yet another pull. So this is what you're kind of talking about. It's difficult to deal with. Even some aggro core to the neutrals right there. So that's actually a good play by Ophelia coming out. And they are going to kill off that Hellhound, so good job by the Hellborn.
That's one of the biggest counters, by the way, to actually pull, like when a Warbeast, Wild Soul, or anything like that are trying to pull your lane, just aggro the neutral creeps and try to get your neutral creeps to aggro them instead. I feel like a lot of people actually forget about that, but it's a really good way to counter Warbeasts and Wild Souls.
Yeah, definitely makes sense there. He's able to get at least a couple here now. So, again, going to keep that up as well Warbeast does. Nothing surprising there coming out. Ophelia was able to get the counter on the pole camp. However, the hard camp to the left still remains blocked. Didn't even attempt to counter that one. Just figures we'll do without it. Maybe just let the wards run its course and eventually deal with it later. Invis rune going to spawn. Not necessarily the craziest rune ever for an Ophelia, but we'll see.
That Minotaur doesn't look too good.
Yeah, that too. It's no mana and barely any life. Not very threatening with that Minotaur right there. Top lane, wow, Silhouette got really low. Does live, but I wonder if he got trapped or something like that somehow.
Oh,
but anyways, middle lane, Farrell's in trouble right here. Pops the Hellfire onto Ophelia. In comes the Shards of Harkon, though. Beautiful stun from Kraken as well onto the cliff. That Hellfire is keeping him alive a little bit longer, but slapped eventually. Will get the Bloodlust kill. So good pursuit, and well, the Invis Ophelia actually did work in the end for him.
Yeah, with the help of Moira, see the potential right there. Very well played by Sync, once again executing an early game gank attempt. But yeah, Silhouette out here at the top lane, I mean, 260 gold per minute is not doing too shabby. He's actually dealing with the Warbeast quite well, I would say. But he needs to be careful because the Wolves or the Hellhounds are level 2 now, so they are going to deal a lot of damage, and he is squishy.
Look at Miggy, by the way. 21-1 in creep farm.
Top.
As top lane. Yep, they're going to pick off Warbeast. Shards of Harkon, I'm sure, hit. And Silhouette may die. Wow, that was close. The Ring of Teacher, though, helping to keep him alive with that armor buff. So.
Oh, Rocket! No!
Oh, did it almost hit? I missed that.
Yeah, it was so close.
That would have been epic, but Krake attempted. Got just missed, though. And nice little health potion for Silhouette to heal on up. And he's going to be fine now. So that is unfortunate. That would have been a big kill to take, but The start for Sync, looking pretty good right here. It's actually, Kraken is going to get caught in Mummy Wall, but ultimately will survive, so just taking some good harassment from Pharaoh. But yeah, Mickey is having a great time. Was getting at, though. He got the assist as well, of course, but 390 gold per minute right now from Mickey.
He did get the first blood, right?
He got the assist, yeah.
Okay, assist. All right, yeah. Make it once again. I mean, it's unbelievable. Every single matchup, like, it doesn't matter what hero that you gave him, he's just going to end up on that 350 plus of gold per minute. Like, even if he's in a 1 versus 2, he's like almost 300 plus. It's just crazy how well this guy actually lasts it.
Yeah. Bottom lane, how is Moraxis doing? He's level 2 still, so it does seem like you kind of expect. I mean, again, it is a funky suicide hero here, so not necessarily getting the most experience in the end, but
even if you hit level 6, you're not going to have too much of an impact in the game itself. Like, if you would have had a Kraken down here, he would have been level 3, you would have still been like, okay, when I hit level 6, I'm at least going to be useful with my release Kraken ability. But Moraxis, it doesn't really feel the same way.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, it seems like he's definitely a hero that really needs that portal key ASAP. He's most certainly now. He's not for the purpose of I need to kill people, start killing people right away, but just for the purpose of having the initiation presence. Because yeah, with how the synergy of his abilities, you're definitely right that the release of Kraken, it's just such a strong tool to use that it's going to be good for setting up, even if you're not the most farmed. But yeah, that's what I think makes it the most odd in the end. So good point there, but. Kraken, more so Keizu on Moraxis. We'll see how he's going to be able to recover here, and ultimately his impact. Middle lane, though, once again going for the kill. Speaking of release of Kraken, using the Wrath of the Pharaoh right there to maybe try to stay alive in some sense, but that's not even close. He goes down, and almost a fault to use the Wrath of the Pharaoh, I think, because now that presence won't even be up here as he resurrects.
That as well, but I feel like, I mean, couldn't he have used it on the Mora or Illusion? It was just, like, outside of the release of Kraken?
Yeah. It spawned after, to be fair. It spawned. He was, yeah. He used it and then it spawned like after he used it. So I think he wasn't really expecting that, perhaps. But yeah, you're right. If he was patient, then that could have happened. So
yeah, that was a tricky situation though. But I agree with you though. He shouldn't have used it. It's better to save it because he just hit level 6 and now it's going to be down for 40 seconds. So Sync Esports know for a fact there is no scare factor whatsoever on the map. They don't have to be careful for anything.
Well, Puppet Master is the one thing that's going very well right now for Druids. Nearly 400 gold per minute. So, talking about Mickey with his farm, but yeah, he's on 2 assists. You got Puppet Master, 0 assists, but 46 and 17. Probuska warming up those fingers, getting the APM going, and no one had a last hit right here, showing that off quite a bit. So, nearly 400 GPM. Is this an Assassin Shroud game or a Whispering Helm game, you think? For first item.
I almost would like to say that it's an Assassin Shroud. If he can hit the Assassin Shroud before the Nullstone hits on his Flensmeister, I feel like that's more or less a given kill for his part. Yeah, he's going to go for the Assassin Shroud. I like that.
Okay. Yeah,
they got early initiation with the Pharaoh as well, so I feel like they got the potential to go aggressive early on.
Yeah. Second most games played by Insane at 9 and 11. Yeah, interesting. So Krake also somewhat familiar with that Pharaoh hero. Cersei going in with her Invis right there. Going to use the entrapment. Nice land. It's not easy to land. He pops the Arcane Shield, though. It actually absorbs and Cthulhu Font will miss. As a result right there, nice puppet show on a Krake at least. Obliterate's activated. That doesn't really do a whole lot, though, in the end. In fact, really nothing. So that was kind of an awkward fight, but a lot of that came back to Moraxis. Good reaction. Meanwhile, top lane, Warbeast gets picked off, and Silhouette and Ophelia dive right there for the kill. So well played by Moraxis, though.
A little bit sloppy by Druids, though. They shouldn't have gone into his stun range. I think Puppet Monster got stunned by the Quake. That was a little bit of a mistake. Otherwise, they would probably have gotten that kill. But yeah, nice reaction definitely from Kiesu. That Arcane Shield, I mean, I guess that's what they were thinking, Sync Esports, when they were actually sending Moraxis to the Suicide Lane, that he is hard to kill. He is tanky, and he got that ability.
Yeah, they do got a lot of single target. Obviously, Puppet Master the king of that, so that's where Arcane Shield can be very powerful. And again, especially if it works on entrapment. I'm still not certain if it does or not.
I don't think so. I mean, in that case, he would have used it when Cersei was...
well, he came out of Invis, to be fair. Like, he did catch him off guard, so I don't know if he just didn't react in time. But yeah, you are right, though. I mean, he probably would add enough time at the same time to maybe react to it. So. Wrath of the Pharaoh going to catch Moraxis right here. He pops the Arcane Shield, so once again trying to get it absorbed. This time it does not, though, but he has team support nearby. Cthulhu Font in the background. It's a creep. He's trying to live, though. Nice puppet show on a Kraken. That is going to result in Pharaoh staying alive, at least initially. Silhouette comes in, but He had a regen rune, actually, that was healing him up quite a bit and ultimately keeps him alive. Ophelia, yeah, not going to do much else there. Against the health potion, I guess, but not the biggest deal in the world. So no kills actually happening as a result of the initiation right there, which started by Pharaoh, actually, coming out. So, but Puppet Master, he's also trying to be involved at this point. Man, Ophelia.
Wow.
Slap is just like, yeah, don't mind me. I'm just farming your jungle right next to you. Oh, boy. What are they doing at the Ancients over here?
Insania is just controlling the map so well right now. I love the way that he's putting up this Ward of Sight. He tends to do that a lot in his games, just to secure the fact that Warbeast cannot farm the Ancients at any point. And he got one at the top tower as well, or at the tier 1 tower, so there can't be any reinforcements. So if someone like, for example, Puppet Master with Assassin's Shroud were to port in, they would notice that, and they would be able to evacuate Silhouette in time before he got taken down.
Silhouette, speaking of that too, goes back to the top 425 goal per minute, so it's safe to say Flensmeister liking this game a lot better than last game. Sure, it was a winning effort in the end, of course, but his individual performance didn't necessarily shine as far as stat-wise goes. It wasn't a friendly game for him, but this time, much different. Has a sustainer well on the way to the early Nullstone, and going from there. And again, he definitely knows what he's doing with this hero. We have seen it many of times before. Great at the split push presence, just great in general on the hero, using that illusion to its fullest. As Ophelia may catch Cersei right here, no, using the deceive, and it will sure enough deceive Ophelia. Go figure. So unable to get a kill out of it, but now the turn potential. Pharaoh coming in. Does he have? He has Moira nearby. Arcane Vortex maybe. Yep, gonna stop Pharaoh right there, as the illusion eventually dies off, but it will save Ophelia in the end. And they may want to fight this because Silhouette is nearby, so yeah, Pharaoh and Cersei pick up on that. Probably would have been a deadly situation, so they run away, and that'll be the end of that for now. But yeah, the map control, it is ridiculous by Sync once again. The fact that they're able to just go, like we even saw Ophelia in the Legion jungle, like just farming right next to them, and they didn't even notice. That's how confident they are.
Yep, they are the kings of the minimap.
Yeah.
Oh, and here we go. Kitolfan's going to jump in.
That was a nice jump by Cthulhu there. A lot of damage as a result of the creeps. He goes down. Moira, Shards of Harkon, Stun will stall follow-up. Nice entrapment hit, actually. And will he be dead because of that? Maybe. No. The stomp is going to not hit because Warby's turned around, but close attempt nonetheless.
Silhouette's looking to flank them a little bit. No, he's going to part out there. Or swap out with his illusion. That was the first kill, by the way, for Druids throughout this game, so a small victory.
Yeah. Obviously, Cersei is always a presence that you're going to have to keep in mind. With that said, the possession, or the Twisted Visage more so, is always a threat. So that's, I think, where the Silhouette pick also, probably is going. Because, again, you're just naturally going to get the Nullstone on the hero. And, that can be pretty good against a hero like Cersei, who would have to use the illusion first to take it off and then ulti, which is possible, sure, but yeah, it's not as easy.
Yeah, you were able to use the possession or his ultimate as at the Silhouette illusion, right?
Oh,
like
you know what? Because you can do it against Sandwraith. You're right.
It should be possible.
I assume you can. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Oh, well, that actually makes Silhouette not that good of a pick then, right?
and not normal, or not as good at least.
Not as good, yeah.
Before.
That's a good way to put it. Wow, that's true though. Huh. I wonder if they're thinking about that as well. I mean, again, it's smart players, so I figure that they would be, but yeah. No.
Flensmaster's just been playing this hero for a lot. He should know the possible counters to it, so I would assume that he's aware of it.
Yeah.
This avatar that he's using, by the way, is so badass.
It's really cool. Yeah, this is one of the newer ones, the newest one, I think. Yeah. Props, Flensmaster, just showing it off. But at the same time, going back to that logic, though, Cersei not necessarily going to be looking to take over Silhouette, I'm sure, earlier on. Probably going to be looking for more the Kraken, if not even the Moraxis. Wanting to get that, again, at the earlier levels, but the reduced damage especially. You're looking for more of the crowd control, the big initiators, rather than the damage dealers, such as a Silhouette, I would think. So that's also a case.
Certainly, yes. We got a Ghost Marchers on Make It, by the way, on the Kraken. I like that. It's creative. I mean, Steamboot is like would be the normal pickup, seeing as Assassin Shroud is going to be picked up on Puppet Master. You might be expecting some burst damage, but seeing as you can normal charge out of the firewall and you can just run away from the War Beast with the Ghost Marchers, I think it's just fine.
Puppet Master, man, that GPM has gone downhill. I was expecting it to still be pretty high, but I just looked at the GPM chart. 330 gold per minute. Wow, what? Why has he dropped off so much?
I don't know. I mean, it just comes down to the map control given by Sync.
Yeah.
He's scared. He can't be down that safe lane anymore. Look at the map right now. You see Insania standing here, just waiting for Probusk more or less to go out and try to get a last hit. That's when they're going to go for a kill attempt, and Illusion. No, he's not going to go for it quite yet. He got Arcane Vortex, but there is tier 1 tower down here, so support is always going to be nearby. Here he goes.
Yep, now. Oh, he missed the Arcane Vortex. Out comes the Puppet Show, as well as the Voodoo Puppet, but it's not going to really matter, it looks like. Through the funnel as he can get here. Yes, he can. Matrax Explosion, maybe. Oh, Kraken, he hit the tree. He hit the damn tree, got in the way. Release the Kraken, will catch Puppet Master, though, and they finally finish him off. Wasn't the prettiest of kills, but it was a kill nonetheless. Cthulhuphon also getting caught now. Nice trample from him, but I think in the long run he is going to fall, as he does right there. Double tap for Flensmeister. There could be more. Kraken, he will catch Warbeast as well. The ulti form keeping him alive. Mora going to try to cut him off. The nuke from Ophelia, not enough. And Warbeast will survive, but they got 2 kills out of it. They're happy with that. Well, making a 2-for-1 actually, as Insania does go down. Pharaoh ports out before he gets turned on himself. So good job by Kraken in the end, but still damage done by Sync, and it's going to be a tower kill on top of it all.
Yeah, we've got a 500 gold per minute Silhouette, and the Legion side probably is going to drop below 300, and Sib is barely even at the 200 mark, so this is looking tough. I mean, when you got that Warbeast, you want to wait until that mid game before you actually engage in those fights. But at this point, they don't have the luxury to do so. Like, they need to find pickups somehow. I mean, they were the ones to decide to pick up Pharaoh and send him to the mid lane. But so far, if you compare his impact to Kraken's, it hasn't been nearly as good.
No, definitely has not been. And yeah, 530 gold per minute right now for Silhouette. Gonna have that portal key on top of the Nullstone here. That was an illusion. I was gonna say, yeah, that's something that you're gonna have. Nice bait from Cersei right there. But Kraken also pretty good against Pharaoh for that reason. Able to charge out of the Mummy Wall. Going to be fine for the time being. Silhouette in the background, locking down Warbeast. Warbeast not going to be able to get away. Nope, maybe Arcane Vortex. That was awkward because I think that helped or hurt them big time, rather than help them right there. However, they do get the kill on Pharaoh. Silhouette still chasing, now going for Puppet Master, knowing that he has a much stronger farm right now. The stun, it is going to hit. Good job with the tree gobble right there. Death Lotus, if he can snipe with this. Yes, he can. And Flensmeister picks up the kill on a Probusk as well. It's still not over. Maybe Illusions constantly being annoying for Sync. But more kills happening. Look at 10.5 thousand gold lead, 7,400 experience lead. It's about the same time that game number 1 was, where they conceded eventually on True. It's not saying they should just yet, honestly, but man, it's just Sync is rolling today as far as their gameplay.
Playing outstanding. I feel like everything has been top-notch on their part. The draft, the execution, the vision, everything. The communication seems to be top-notch as well. It's really difficult for Drews right now to get any momentum going. I don't know where to go from here. Where would you go? I mean, the entire Legion force is occupied by Sync members. You can't really go out there. You don't have you have the portal key on the Cthulhuphon, but you don't have the damage to follow it up, even though you have the Pharaoh as well. I mean, his ultimate has a really long cooldown at this point, and Puppet Master still doesn't have that Assassin's Shroud, so he doesn't have that initial or extra burst damage either, so it's a very, very troublesome spot right now. I feel like almost they need to go as 5 and just try to get 1 pick off.
Yeah.
Just take it from there.
It's the fact that Puppet Master got so locked down after such a great start with GPM uppers of 400 plus, top farm of the game, and just started dwindling down and down. And obviously, credit to the Sync as more Axis is, by the way, trying to get away. Arcane Shield going up and everything. Is it going to be enough? I don't think so. Maybe, actually. Man, there's the Arcane Vortex. He does have Ophelia coming over with an Astrolabe, and it's going to heal him in time as well. Are you kidding me? The team support. Phenomenal right there from Sync Esports, and he's sending him back. And it looks like, oh, he does go down in the end. So hell of an effort, but the long story is he does get picked off. Ophelia is going to be fine. But meanwhile, Silhouette just pushing a top secondary tower while all that happens. to be fair. So
That was so close to Miraxus surviving.
Yeah.
I can't believe how tanky that hero is with the help of Astro and Mora support and all that. Oh, Tolfan is in trouble.
yeah, he's trying to turn this with Obliterate. Actually may. Nope, not going to happen. Ophelia barely stays alive with about 25 life or so. But they also get the kill on a Probusk, by the way. Kraken picks him off. Double damage will help with that. Kraken already a Storm Spirit on top of the portal key. So the farm is real across the board for Sync. Nearly 600 GPMs. I wonder if Druids realizes how far behind they are right now, because they're not even
I think
close.
they do. They don't want to give up quite yet, even though this game is more or less over. I would say that they still want to stick into the game a little bit just to calm everyone down, not to get too frustrated in before game number 3.
Well,
and they got the Cersei factor.
I was going to say, yeah, they do have Cersei, and he's going to try to have the impact right here, but Mickey's a little too quick to react. He gets taken over, but he does enough crowd control to stop any chance at getting turned there. So in the end, Serenia's attempts have failed. And I actually saw him earlier, didn't comment on it, but saw it on camera. He was going for the same thing earlier on to Kraken, and it failed the first time. So Kraken and Storm Spirit, a rare combination. Only 1-1, interesting.
Oh, Iceland Gogo and Kitulafant. He is smoked up, but very close to being discovered.
You'd figure that combo's actually a little bit more popular, to be fair. It's actually Kitulafant is going to be jumped here. Storm Spirit thrown up in the air, comes down, and if anything for that reason right there, it helps set up your Tsunami charge. I think that was a little troll.
Yeah, I thought it was like versus the Puppet Monster ultimate alone, more or less, but that was... I didn't even think of that. That was just so perfect. But
yeah. That, and it sets up, yeah, the ultimate as well with the release of Kraken. So, it seems like the synergy is actually pretty strong. And a hero that uses some decent mana, to be fair, so I don't know. I'm surprised, honestly, that it's only been seen twice on this hero.
It gives plus 30 movement speed as well, so it goes very well with his Ghost Munchers.
Yeah.
He can move around the map really fast.
I think it's because people usually like to build like Soul's Bulwark and stuff, more of like physical presence somewhat on the hero perhaps, as far as follow-up, rather than, you know, more the utility support perhaps, but I don't know.
Seeing as he's this far ahead in this game, physical damage isn't necessarily the biggest factor so far. It's still a little bit more like that burst damage with the magic damage from the spells. So Bulwark, yeah, definitely a good mid-game item, but you don't have to pick it up too fast.
Oh, he already has another 2,000 gold saved up, so, well, he's
very likely, yeah, to come out next year.
Gonna have something else here soon. Yeah, Silhouette, by the way, didn't even go Portal Key, went a Geometer's Bane.
Oh, wow. I wonder why.
Yeah. Especially with the Snowball, you figure Portal Key would have even made more sense, if anything. But
is it to get rid of just Geometers does not cancel the Cersei ultimate? I'm quite sure of that. Oh, it raised the Kraken at the bottom.
Yeah, it catches Cersei as well. I don't even know if he realized right there. Cersei is going to barely live, but good through the fuck goes down, and, well, Cersei is not going to live in the end. Gets taken out. Another double tap. Flesmeister top lane, and that's probably going to trigger a concede vote, honestly. I don't think Druids is going to really be sticking in this one. Flesmeister able to swap out as well as, there we go, GG's are being called. So, game 2, gonna go to Sync, and I mean, I was stating after the first game, felt like that was, you know, just, it was a one-sided, you know, it just happened, momentum went in Sync's favor, and I was not expecting the same moving on, but man, maybe we should expect the same, because right now it's a mix of Sync is, I think it's just all Sync's just looking really damn good right now, and they're on a mission here.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to take like a... I mean, I feel like, Druids, even though they haven't necessarily been playing top-notch and it might be a little bit rusty, I don't want to take anything away from Sync because they are playing so freaking outstanding right now. I don't see a single mistake in anything. Like, the drafts executed to perfection, all their movements, rotations, early game pickups, like that Storm Spirit, for example, creative, well-played, Sync esports, yeah, they are on top. They are looking for that win bracket final. They want to go versus Recent Gaming. They are one game ahead, or one game away from it now.
Yeah, obviously, Recent Gaming, again, awaiting them, as you pointed out, and here we are with Sync on the verge of advancing on with one more victory. Again, it's a best-of-5, guys, so still more games to be coming at you here, at least one more. But it's gonna take a lot of fighting power, a lot of fortitude here from Druids, especially now being down a quick 2-0 here in the series, to at least start climbing back one game at a time, because, yeah, I guess there's not much else to say on it. Again, Sync's just looking really good, and Druids, we'll see what they make happen here, if they're up to the challenge or not. Here on what is going to be now a third game against Sync Esports. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We got game number 3 going to be coming at you here in this best-of-5 series, Deadeye Bounty League Action Playoffs here on Honcast. Stay tuned. Game number 3 coming up next.
We can make this world a better place, and the tragedies and set our spirits free.